Um, Hello, welcome back to Forever Hardcore Motivation podcast. This is number 3, and actually, I did get some questions. If last podcast was number 2, what was number 1? And number 1 was done in person with Cuba in Hardcore Corner, and that was podcast 1. And we do have another one in the bank with Keefe that we haven't released because my internet is run by carrier pigeon. So I still haven't downloaded it yet. But we managed to get the other one up before that. So there will be another one very shortly. And now that we have the legendary Davis I couldn't have thought of a more fitting chair for if I was going to design a chair for Leroy. If I would, that would have been it. I'm not much of a chair maker, but you've done it wonderfully. So with the Nautilus pullover, I kind of feel like maybe you should just give him the real pullover and it should just live there.
I think Mandy might object somehow. I'm surprised he's even got the banner up.
Well, the banner does go quite small because there was a little bit of a side eye from my wife when I put it up in the front room. And she was like, "Oh, you think that's going there, do you? You think that's what's happening?"
Yeah, you're not supposed to put it in the bedroom, Dan. That's why.
Yeah. So no, it does collapse.
Again, I'm all right.
You're all right. So obviously last week we were unable to have Leroy, so we were man down. But we did get some questions, and I did get some feedback that some people watched it. Not enough people, but some people watched it.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on Instagram, it just seems to be, we're getting, shadow banned for some reason. There's literally, honestly, I could post a picture of a tin of beans on my page and it would get more interaction than the Forever Hardcore stuff. So there's definitely something going on.
I reckon it's the word hardcore. If anyone knows how it is, please let us know, because I haven't put any pictures of like my ball bag or like anything like on it, and it seems to be like, but it is, even if you like do a post and then what do you do, partner with it or whatever, collaborate, it makes the post like worse.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, I haven't got a huge following, but Jesus, like, for something to get between myself and Leroy on a collaboration, because Leroy tends to get a lot of engagement because he doesn't post that often. It's got something like 30 likes, like that's impossible. So there's definitely something going on there. But
yeah, so
we'll just keep banging away. We'll just keep banging away.
If anyone has any idea why it's bad, I mean, it's doing so shit that I will just delete it. It's got like no. Yeah, it's got, but the YouTube channel's ticking along. Sometimes we get views, sometimes we don't. But like you said, we're trying to just make some cool training footage and chat some shit, and hopefully people enjoy it.
Yeah, the YouTube was flying, to be fair, until YouTube put a strike on me uploading Blood and Guts, and they took it down due to a copyright issue, and then it all seems to have gone to shits and sense. So again, we'll just keep banging away, gents. Yeah, I'm sure it'll come.
Yeah, it didn't like that. But yeah, I think, yeah, we obviously don't know how the fuck to make any of this happen, so we're just putting some videos on. Hopefully it'll make people want to train, and that's about it.
Yeah, we're doing all right, guys. We're doing all right.
Do you want to kick off with questions?
Which way do you want to do it? Do you want to do it half questions and half us talking absolute banter?
Well, let's be honest. If we start with the questions, usually I will lead you down the garden path.
Right, tell you what, let's have a look, because
that's
last time I didn't have any glasses on and I was just blinking like I was having an epileptic fit. So this time I put the gags on, so we're looking okay. All right, let's have a look. Actually, I did the last one I saw was one for Leroy, so let's have a look on the post here.
Go on then, start me off.
Oh, your account's been deleted. No, it doesn't say that. Right, let's have a look. There's quite a few questions, actually. There's just not a lot of likes. It's weird. Right, Mr. Davis. This is from Lewis, Team Nasty Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis 225. Most memorable sessions Leroy has had. I'm assuming he means weight training sessions here, Leroy.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope so. Most memorable. Oh.
That's a tough one, isn't it? Because obviously you've got the blood and guts years, and you've got the most recent years.
I think all the training sessions I've had are sort of housed in the same category as memorable, because I think every session is taken to a certain to a certain state or standard. It's very rare we've never reached that. So all the training sessions all seem to be the same. Even the first one, me and you trained together and on legs, and then the one we done with when Dan first joined us, they were all memorable. But so were all the others. Even just doing a normal, something that we haven't planned, and we do like a chest workout or back workout. They're all brilliant workouts. I can't really sort of put one on the pedestal, really.
Well, that's obviously a good thing, isn't it? Because I mentioned this. We spoke about this a few weeks back, didn't we, Leroy, when you came to visit, and there was like an impromptu leg session. It wasn't planned. You got to Durham like a day early, didn't you? It was like, oh, do you want to hit a bit of legs? And
yeah,
we spoke about, like, obviously, I'm not competing anymore. You're not competing anymore, and we don't have to be as serious anymore, type of thing. But even when we're just having a little bit of crack and a little bit of chit chat in between sets, they always still end up being good sessions. I mean, we don't have to be as serious as the old days. Because we don't meet up that often, we always tend to have a little bit of a catch up during the session as well. But we said if that was like 10 years ago, we wouldn't be talking, and we wouldn't be talking about this, that, whatever. It would be super serious. So I can't think of an actual bad session, to be honest.
I think it also helps if you got lads around you who, even if you turn up at the gym, you've had a bad day, you don't feel like training, you feel shit, you haven't eaten properly, you haven't slept properly. But the lads that you actually train with, they're on it. They want to, they sort of bring you along, carry you along, and that atmosphere surrounds you, and then the want to have a good session starts to kick in at an early stage. So it makes you have a good session. So I say, even when me and you are just tickling the body, the body part, we still have a good session. It's still harder than 90% of everybody else in that gym. Trying hard.
Yeah, I think part of it is because everybody wants to train with Mr. Davis, that they don't kind of slip on the opportunity to get a good session in, because unfortunately we can't catch up as often as usual, or as we would like to, because you're like 3 hours away, Dan's like 9 years away. So when we do actually get together, we make sure we have a good session, because it's not that like often that we can get it done.
I did, when I was injured, I did bomb 2 sessions, because I knew that if 3 of us, there was no way I was like gonna avoid it. I would fuck myself up. So unless like I'm like at least 90, like I did bomb 2. I bombed the Hollingshead and the Cuba session because of my adductor tear, because like I said, it's all or nothing. And if we get together and we start mixing that up again, like I'll just rip the fucker off. I just know I will.
Well, Dan, let's not bring up the situation where you did slip a session because you were getting married. So, I remember you got banned off Team Nasty. You missed one of the meetups because of a slight inconvenience that you were doing some wedding planning or something. So
yeah, that is true.
Can you remember you got fired?
You were both at the wedding.
No, this was prior. This was a few weeks prior. You missed the Team Nasty meetup and you got fired from Team Nasty.
Oh yeah,
can you remember Leroy? Yes, he got fired.
Yeah, I did get fired.
You get suspended.
Yeah, I got suspended sentence. I was in the gulag for a bit, but I think came in.
I think personally, and through experience, though, Danny, you're right. Trying to go 100% with an injury, it doesn't do you any justice. It doesn't do you any good. So being sensible and cutting back, or even stepping back, that's using common sense. That means you live to fight another day. But it's not really worth sort of fucking tearing your leg off or your arm off just to stay in the session.
Yeah, until the stem cells get that good that I can grow myself another leg, I think I'll stick with that. One thing, have you, obviously without naming any names, have you ever done a session where you're just like, fuck this guy? Like you can tell, because I've done some sessions where you like, they're like fake failing and stuff. And one thing you're really good is like knowing where someone's actual failure point is. You push them just enough. You wouldn't ask them to do a rep that would be dangerous. You like ride that edge. Have you ever encountered someone that you know just isn't doing it, and then you just want to get it fucking done?
Yeah, I had trained with a few, but they soon learn. They soon learn they can't pull the wool over my eyes. They soon all that fake acting doesn't work with me. You actually feel it. You can feel, when you're actually holding the body part. You can feel when it's weakening, when it's actually failing. And a lot of the time, obviously, we said this before, the mind fails a lot sooner, or thinks it's failing a lot sooner than the muscle. A lot of guys who are lazy trainers and who, they'll only push themselves so far and they'll stop when it gets a bit uncomfortable. That's the mind. They're listening to the mind rather than feeling the muscle. So, but yeah, there's been a few times where I've come across or trained with people like that, but they've asked for it. So they're going to get it. So when they're telling me they can't do no more, they're doing more. And
I've had that tactic before when we've been training. You say like, hold, and then you get a press here or a press down there to see if you are generally holding, or just fucking whimpering away being a pussy. Yeah, I've had the press on the chest and the digging the hamstring, or the fucking push on the lat, or the yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It means a feeling when the muscle's being contracted at the positive of the rep, and even at the negative, you still got to keep it tight and contracted whilst you're doing the negative. And when people just let it go, that pisses me off. Is when I see other people drop the fucking weight or drop the machine. There's just no need for that, because in 6 months' time that machine's going to be US. It's going to be in the workshop being fixed, and if no one comes out, you want to use it.
That's what fucks me off. It's because mechanically, if you can get it up, you can 100% get it down slowly. Yeah. Like, just mechanically, that's a fact. And so to drop it from the top is not only being a prick to everyone else, but you're actually wasting that important part of the move. It's like you're not only doing yourself, but you're doing the kit as well. Yeah, that is definitely a pet hate. And as a gym owner, it must be even worse.
Let's not even go there, man. Like you see, if you can push something up, you've still got some negative lift to slow it down. And I always say to people on that last rep, don't waste it. You've still got half a rep left before you finish. So that's one of my don't waste it. The
last rep is it should be as good and as full as the first rep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to check out was two Temple Gym wives' tales that I heard through the grapevine when I was a youngster. And one of them was that you had scales at the bottom of the stairs, and if you weighed under a certain amount, then someone had to come and check that you were like big enough to train there.
That's a wives' tale. But what we did do, though, we used to listen to you coming down the stairs, and if you made a bit of a noise, before you up, well, if you just twinkle toe down, then we'd take a second look at you. You'd land on the bottom step, and then you'd have like 15 to 25 pair of eyes turn around and look at you. And if you were man enough to take that and keep coming, then happy days. But 9 times out of 10, they'll turn around and scurry on back up the stairs.
The other wives' tale was that when mobile phones first came in, they were banned from the gym, and that you requested someone not to use it on a piece of kit, and then you had to ask again, and then you drop kicked his phone into the wall.
I gotta be careful. I have done some mean things.
I can edit some of this out if I need to.
Yeah, I mean, you got me up, but obviously when we were full flowing in the gym, mobiles were sort of far and few between. It was only towards the latter days that people started bringing them down. And 9 times out of 10, they were brought down because obviously they were personal property, and secondly, they didn't want to live in the past. But no, I don't recall ever drop kicking a mobile. I remember drop kicking a few lads, but not mobile.
Oh, there was one. Oh, there was one. There was one more. There was one more that if you were competing, you could phone ahead and be like, I'm competing, I'm training legs, and whoever was working front desk would harvest the steel around the area that you were training.
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, that's true. We used to have lots of Ernie Taylor and whatnot. Any lad that was serious and was serious about competing, yeah, they would let us know they were coming in, and I would do personally. I would go around harvest the steel, load the machines. They told me what exercises they were doing, what machines they were doing. And Ernie was one of them. Ernie would let us know he's coming to do legs with big sleeve or whatever, and we'd go around and make sure that the weights were in place and the lads were off the machines in time. We still were, and that was a respectful thing. They knew what the crack was. The guys who were competing always took preference. They always had priority, and the lads showed them a lot of respect.
Yeah, that's all the wives.
That's real gym camaraderie, isn't it? Camaraderie, or we want to call it.
Because it is.
Nowadays, you can't even get a decent spot nowadays because I look around the gym and the training partner is just on the phone nowadays. Like, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Everybody else is just too important nowadays. They're too important for themselves. You're right. The other day, I was in the gym training, and I happened to look up, and the lad is doing shoulder press. And the guy who's supposed to be spotting him stood round him, and all he's doing is peering over into the mirror and just checking himself. You know, your man's struggling down here, but he's making sure he's looking all right. You know, that's the kind of sort of interest they've got in their training partner. They're more interested in looking in the mirror, see who's looking at them.
Well, that's the thing is, where's the, like, even from one of the main things about having a training partner is that you trust them, because some of the stuff you're doing is dangerous shit. And training with you guys is, and I have a couple of guys in Bristol who train with once a week for legs, and I only have to worry about giving everything because I know they've got me.
Yeah,
I know that they're there, and if anything goes wrong or whatever, they've got me. And like, that's so hard to come across, like someone who's like there with you, and each time you do a set, you're building the atmosphere, and their set is just as important as yours. And like, I think that is, yeah, you're missing like someone's training and you're on your phone. You should be there with them doing it, like, even if it's from a sadistic way, like, I'm gonna fuck you up like, and I want you to fuck me up in return, like, but you give a shit. And yeah, I remember that was one of the first things of, like, when we got that first leg session, like, I was just like, well, I don't really know, like, I haven't trained like this before, but I had like respect for you and faith that you know, and then you just guide. You were just a guide, and all I had to do was one singular thing, and that was give fucking everything. And that's the most enjoyable bit of training, is that you can just hone in. Your whole existence just becomes that. But it's hard to come by having a spot like that.
Yeah, if your training partner is on his phone during your set, he's not a training partner. He's just a hindrance. So get rid of him or her.
Yeah.
That training partner is on his phone while you're doing your set. That training partner should be visiting the hospital, having the doctor remove it from his arse. That's what I would have done.
True story. Well, that's cleared up my wives' tales section. Those are the things that I'd like heard, like, back in the day. And to be fair, I probably told loads of people as if they were true. I was like, yeah, I went to Temple, and then, you know, like when there was like a fight at school and like actually like someone had pushed someone else, you'd be like, oh, Steve from year 9 came in and he had a grenade, and then his dad came and then his head fell off, and like, you know, kind of probably was a little bit like that.
Sorry, gents.
We had the odd punch up down there. It didn't look like the old Cakerel or a Western bar. You know, there was a few punches thrown, and then the lads were, you know, within seconds, the lads would be in there separating them. And then they've had the mad 10 seconds and back to training, end of. It's very rare that feuds carried on. It's very rare.
Sorry, gents, I'm not looking through the phone here. I'm just looking for the question. So this one was for me, actually. This is from Davy Smith coaching. What was it like training with the legend Davy Smith coaching? Well, Davy, what can I say, mate? You train like an absolute pussy, unfortunately. I was very disappointed. Oh no, Davy's a good guy. He's always positive. He's always upbeat. 65 years old. He's not 65. I just keep winding up because he's in the over 40 gang. But no, that was a good session, Davy. We did a bit of chest and biceps. We had the old, yeah, we're in the over 40 gang. Let's get this done. But no, we had a good session. So well done, Dave. We're just going to do a leg session next. So that's next on the card, young man.
Mate, always make them do legs first. It's the rules.
Right, this one's from Adam, another Team Nasty member.
Oh, the Ledner. He's been suspended.
Why?
I haven't seen him since last time we came up, I think. So he's on
Sorry,
annual leave.
Fuck you, Adam. You're not getting your question answered then. I'm sorry. No. No, when should someone compete for the first time? Easy one, when you look like a bodybuilder. You should not get on stage looking like you haven't trained, unfortunately, which we do see sometimes nowadays. So when you actually look like you've been to the gym and have some muscle tissue, then you're ready to compete. I'm not saying you have to look like a professional level athlete that, you know, you're going to go in and blow your first show away, but you should actually look like you've got a good foundation of tissue under your belt, because nowadays we've had this discussion about the reverse mirror thing, haven't we? And no offense to anybody, if you go in the gym, I'm on your side, but sometimes you're just not ready to compete yet. You got guys getting on stage after training for like 6 months, which, unless you're a genetic freak, it's not going to work out, guys. You need a good stint of foundation training under your belt before you put those Sparty underpants on. Leroy, your opinion on this one?
The truth as well, that, you know, around you, someone that's not going to blow smoke up your ass, someone's going to say that, listen, mate, you're not ready. But unfortunately, the generations nowadays can't take a no, they can't take negative. They've been that used to being yes, and smoke blown up their asses and spoon fed, that when someone actually says no to them, they don't know what no means. They don't know what the negative is, what a disappointment is. Don't even know what losing is. They're taking part because they've been asked to take part, just to take part. Oh, it's fun to take part. You know, we take part to win. So if you're going to go on that stage, you want to go there with the right attitude. You're going to go there to win. And if you don't, like you said, like Adam just said, if you've got no muscle on your body, if you haven't spent 18 months, 2 years building the foundation, building muscle, then unless you're a freak. Then...
The thing that's annoying is that, like, say you said, "Oh, I don't think you're ready" or whatever, like that's you being a cunt. But to me, telling someone,
no, that's being a true friend. That's being a true friend.
I think it's the opposite. I think a real friend should have you should have the relationship that they should be able to tell you, not yet. But in terms of being like ready as well, because I get asked sometimes as a coach, do you think I'm ready for a stage? Well, you look like you train. What level do you want to compete at? Like in terms of being like feeling like ready, like I don't know. For a lot of people, I think that time also doesn't come either. Like, where are you going to enter? You know, but is there a local show that you think you could be competitive at, and enter at your competitive level? There's no, the PCA do first timer shows now, so like if you could step on stage at a first timer show and win that, then you should give competing a go.
Yeah, I sometimes tell guys, you know, if you're thinking about competing, go along to a show, have a look at the physiques on stage. You know, do you think you could hang with those? I get a lot of messages on Instagram, you know, hi, Anth, would you mind having a look at me? Do you think I'm ready to compete? And, you know, if I generally don't think they're ready to get up there, I will say, no, I will wait another couple of years, maybe, you know, put a few more pounds of tissue on. I would never shoot someone down and say, oh, no, make you shit, don't compete. I'll always try and back it up with some kind of positivity, like, you know, maybe you're not ready yet, but you got a nice structure, you know, keep banging away, etc. But no, there's some people are quite brutal.
I always say you should never speak in absolutes. So you should never say like you'll never be a bodybuilder, you'll never be a champion, you should never speak in absolutes because you have no idea what people are capable later down the line. I don't think you'll never be a pro, you'll never be a thing, you'll never be a. So I think people go too far and start throwing absolutes around, and I think that's not useful either, is it?
Yeah, we all got to start somewhere. I mean, my first NABA written finals as a junior, I came nearly dead last. So, hey, sometimes it doesn't work out. But, you know, I would like to think I still look like I was a bodybuilder and I went to the gym and trained and built some tissue. But sometimes there's just better guys there. So sometimes it's not the case that you're not ready to compete. Sometimes you're just better guys there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how many times have you seen the other side where you've given all that information? You know, you've done it in a positive manner. You know, you've not shot them down. You say, look, mate, you're not ready. You know, you need to train. Spend another 18 months in the gym, and they walk away from you. A few months later, you hear they've competed because a coach, a guru, or what you want to call them, has gone, come here, I can get you ready. It's going to cost you X amount, and then they walked on. And, haven't even got a call out, or it just, you know, how many times have you seen that? I've seen that a few times.
Yeah, Nana Pat said I was ready to compete, so my Nana said I was the best, so I'm stuck there.
Nana Pat says you're ready. You're ready.
Oh, come on, Dan, get some questions off this IG feed. I'll get them since I've actually got some glasses on this week.
I thought you had it up. I was leaving it to you.
What's the most impressive lift you have seen in the gym? I can't think of that one. Let me think. I've seen young Chris Kiffy doing some crazy deadlifting in the gym. Those are the most ones I can think of recently. So a big shout out to Mr. Kiffy West with his crazy deadlifts. You got some hard trainers at your gym, Dan. Surely there must be some. What about your guy, the powerlifter guy with a huge dense back?
Luke Hayward.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning him.
Yeah,
some crazy shit around.
Yeah, who came round? He's on holiday in the Queen's hotel at the moment, so I'm not sure what his lifts are like at the moment. But yeah, but yes, I trained with him for a bit because he did the NABA British and won the novice. And actually was in crazy shape. But yeah, he's done, like, especially for his size and his you know, how much conditioning was. He's done some utterly insane stuff, benching 240, like deadlifting 350, and so I think as an all-rounder and how he looked, he was probably the most impressive all-round guy. In my gym, there's a few strongmen powerlifters that have put in some 400 squats and stuff that have been like fucking like mental. But one of the things that stands out to me was when I come and did the Max Muscle show, and you guys trained legs the day after with Hollingshead, and it wasn't necessarily that his lifts were like that heavy. I think he was like 7 weeks out from the Olympia, or at least a pro show. But
I think it might have been like post show actually, or something. I can't remember now. Yeah,
he was definitely a couple like 7 weeks out of something, and obviously I'd done the show, so I was like, I'm not training fucking legs today. There's another leg day I skipped, it was just we put everything on the Cybex Mark 1 leg press, and it was just the way in which he moved it. It was just like a piston, and he did like 20 reps or whatever with absolutely everything on it, and it in real life, Hollingshead's lower body training, it just looks, it's just, you know that the load's going in the right place. It like just looks like perfectly executed. It's super heavy, super. So in terms of like overall like impressive was probably that day of him just watching Hollingshead train legs is just like, you can just tell like it's all in the right place. He's structurally perfect for doing it. It's just that's that standout for me.
Any crazy lifts at Temple, Leroy, back in the day that you can think of?
Well, we didn't have many crazy lifts. What we did have, we used to have a competition going. We used to call it the 5-plate competition. We used to have some plaques that we had on the wall, and on them plaque there was the 5-plate Smith machine squat. There was the 5-plate deadlift, which you have to rep, and then there was the 5-plate hack squat. So they were the 3 disciplines.
And that was the unique squat, hack squat, wasn't it? Which is heavy as well. You've got it now, haven't you? And actually, we've got a unique one at Trojan as well. It's fucking heavy.
Yeah, so not many people could do the 5-plate. Well, that was the sort of initiative they were, to get your name on this plaque, and people used to call, of an evening, the gangs. We used to have different sort of training posses or gangs. We used to have named the Vikings, the Warriors. Was the others? The Dreads. There were different. Like we named Dad. They all had different gangs and they all had different names. And one night the Dreads would come on and say, "Come on, Lee, I'm ready." We used to have this one Danny the Hammer, and he was so
Danny the Hammer. That's a proper real
nickname. Yeah, that's a decent name.
We'll go through a story one day as to why we call him that. We'll call him that. But anyway, he was ready. We got the 5-plate on the Smith machine, and everyone was round. And again, this was a good camaraderie. It don't matter who you were in the gym. You were that was one of your lads, all supporting him. Oh, come on! And I used to spot him, and stood behind him, and he went down, and he got 3/4 of the way up, and I had to spot him. Broke his heart. But he had to do it. For 3 weeks on the trot, that man come to me. 3 weeks. Go on, I'm ready. You sure? Yeah. And it took him. In fact, I think it took him about 7 weeks before he actually got a full 5-plate squat. But they were the kind of the lifts that we used to encourage everybody to try and do, but do proper. You weren't allowed to be spotted. You weren't no shit reps, no half reps, no chip shot reps.
I knew that was coming.
And the same on the hack squat. There weren't many people that could do it. And another lad that impressed me doing that was a guy called Warren Dyson. He runs Emporium Gym. He's got Emporium Gym.
Yeah.
Or was he? He called me in the one day to watch him do this hack squat, and I think he had about 5.5 plates on, and he fucking wrecked it like a piston. I've got to be jealous. Doesn't count.
Get out, Warren.
We got his name on.
The Smith machine in Temple was heavy as shit, wasn't it, on its own? Even just the cradle was about 200 pounds, I think.
Mm. We also had the plaque for the worst training partner as well, and nobody wanted the name on that. So if your training partner comes to complain, he hasn't turned up again, his name went on. His name was going to. Then he'd be coming in. Please don't put it on. Please don't put it on. Well,
yeah, we need to bring some shit like that back, I think, actually.
We need to bring that back. That's a good idea. We've got like the 1-rep maxes and stuff and the powerlifting stuff on a board. Yeah, I think we need to have some reppy ones or some different lifts. That's a good idea. I'm going to put it to the
5 plates nowadays. People piss it, don't they?
It is mad. Like, I remember 300 kilos deadlift was like a big thing. Yeah. And now fucking everyone deadlifts 300.
Everyone's repping it.
I remember I did 300. I don't know, it was when I trained at the other gym. Fucking, that was probably fucking 10 years ago now. But like, it was a massive deal. Like, if you did it at our gym, you got a t-shirt. Like, now, like, they had to make a 350 t-shirt because everyone can do 300. It is mad. Like, it must be something to do with the psychology of it being so widespread that, I guess it's like strongman now. Like, Eddie Hall pulled 500 and now everyone can pull 500. But it needed that one person to do it, to make it possible.
Once that barrier's broken, then other people just start. It's the same with like athletics and stuff, isn't it? Once one guy does it, then it just like everyone else starts to do it. Right, next question, gents. Let's have a look. Am I the question guy tonight?
Yeah, you're the question guy, Soz.
Ooh, Leroy. How old is Leroy? This man is a legend. Do you want to disclose your age, Leroy, in public?
I don't mind telling anybody my age. It's something I'm very proud of. I'm 21. I'm 58. I'm 58. I was 58 this year, so yeah.
I still see you're a vampire, Leroy.
Yeah.
The joints made out with titanium, but even Davis is getting a few injuries picking up the last couple of years.
Backing up with me.
Yeah, fuck. What's happening? What we're going to do?
Even
Even the boss is getting injured.
I thought that was impossible.
No, it's
mainly
the knees, isn't it, Leroy? We've been having a discussion because
you got to listen to your body when things start. When things don't feel right, where you know up there that it's time to start being sensible and using your brains rather than your muscles. So cutting. I mean, I've been cutting back over the last few years. Cutting back to what I'm used to. However, when I look at other people training, I'm still fucking outriding them. But yeah, I've got, like yourself, and we got to use common sense. We don't want to hurt ourselves. We're not competing. We want to stay in shape. We want to stay fit. I do it to keep fit, to stay fit. I want to see my grandchildren grow up. So I've got that's my initiative now, and using common sense and reading and understanding the body and listening to the body is very important at our young tender age.
Yeah, but we say that, and then we have a meeting. It's like, yeah, let's take it easy, and then it goes a bit quiet. You know when it goes quiet, don't you? And then it's just like, yeah, that wasn't so easy. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, even me, like being the youngest of the clan, like I'm adding more weight to anything is an absolute last resort. I'll try and move tempo, foot position, set type, like the order of anything. Like I don't want to get any stronger and cause. In fact, I'm probably weaker, like in some of the lifts, because I can't just lift the weight. Like I can't rely on just like getting a weight and just getting it up. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot more going on, and so yeah. Even at this stage, I'm having to, because if I get a big injury now, I'm still competing. My adductor ended up being quite a big injury, but I get another one, like it probably is done. Like, yeah. And I think I've got a couple of years left if I don't actually do anything stupid.
Yeah, a big injury put my pro career to a halt. The disc, that was kind of what finished me off, I feel like. And I did ignore it for a while. I got a lot of signs in like neck pain and went like my arm was going dead when I was squatting and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. And then just one day, boom, I listened too late, if you like. Well, actually, I didn't listen, and that was the problem. But I'm kind of listening now, but it's slightly too late. Yeah, it's a similar type of injury, wasn't it? C6C.
Yeah,
C6C5. Yeah.
We're non-believers, though, aren't we? We give we give this advice out. And it's good advice, and that advice has been was handed down to us, and we give it out. But when it actually happens to us, we don't believe it. We won't believe it. We don't want to believe it. We don't. We can't get hurt. It's just a niggle. I think we can work around it. And to be honest, 9 times out of 10, you can work around it if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
but we are a bunch of non-believers, and we think we can get one more session in, or add a few more reps, and then that's, unfortunately, that's when it goes horribly wrong for a lot of guys, a lot of good, hard working, hard training lads, which is a shame, because they never reach their full potential. I know quite a few lads who have got great, promising potential, but due to injuries, it's just cut and dead, which is it's massive shame.
Yeah, it's riding that knife edge, isn't it? Because you have to do some pretty mad shit to get what you want, unless you're genetically gifted, and sometimes you just push that a little bit too hard, or you hadn't recovered that muscle in time, and you hit it again, and you just get it. What the injury that happened to me was I wanted to bring up my posterior chain, so added a little bit more. My body wasn't used to it, and then it just went, no, actually fuck off, and I got the opposite result in the end.
Yeah, like you say, Dan, it is a fine edge, because you got to push hard. If you didn't push hard, then you wouldn't get to that level anyway.
But this is as well the thing with the people that are training for feel and longevity and stuff like that. I'm like, the weight you're using, you could probably throw in the air and headbutt and be all right. Like the weight that you're using, you'll be okay. Like you don't actually need to worry about that. I think longevity in the sport, as well, is thrown around a lot. I think longevity and being able to train is a great idea, like lifelong training. But in terms of bodybuilding, probably one of my regrets is not getting in thicker and faster and getting out faster. Maybe doing some stuff that was a bit sillier sooner, so that I wasn't still trying to knock at the door later. I did start late though. The first time I picked up a weight ever was in my bedroom at 21. I wasn't one of these like teen trainers or anything. But yeah, I mean, everyone talks about longevity, because if you do a health phase, which is apparently doing test and primo, I don't know how that's health, but then you can do you don't really want to be competing for 20 years, do you really?
That's what I was just going to say there. You can either have longevity or win nothing. So yeah, you can train nice and easy for 35 years and not win a bodybuilding contest. I guess it depends on what you want to accomplish from your career or your journey, or whatever you want to call it. But you are going to have to teeter on the edge of, what we're saying, like pushing too hard or whatever. You're going to have to be up there, up to 9, 10. Just don't go at 13 when your body's telling you to back off, which unfortunately I used to do. That was the biggest mistake I made. It was nothing to do with ego, just not thinking I was indestructible. Just I wanted to push. And unfortunately, I paid for it in the end. But again, I have no regrets at all. Not at all. I wasn't the most genetically gifted guy, so I think we did okay. And to be honest, it's only been the last, we all have injuries and niggles and stuff, but I've been training 30 years. It's only been the last 2-3 years that became things have started to become a real hindrance. So yeah, it's not the HIT training. It's not. I wouldn't like to think I did sloppy form or anything. If you go through all my YouTube stuff, I've never done a 1 rep max on anything ever. It's just Father Time catches us all. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm 35 now, so yeah, I've been training since I was 5. Yeah, Father Time catches us all, and myself and Mr. Davis are finding this out that Leroy's coming up 38 as well. No, he just revealed his age, didn't he, before? So that's still gonna ride. But yeah, we do have to start slowing down a little bit, I think. Until the next time.
Yeah. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, when are we meeting next? Where we can just ignore everything we've just said.
New Year's Day, that's the next one, isn't it, Leroy?
Is it going to be New Year's Day? I'm in for that.
I don't know what's happening yet. I don't know. I know Leroy's got some New Year's Eve celebrations, and we're having a bit of a family meetup at New Year's Day, so I'm sure we'll get some training in there somewhere. We'll do some abs.
Yeah, we'll try next year.
Right, let's have a look. Yeah, there's quite a few questions actually. Let's have a look. What would you say to someone who says they need high volume to go? Because I guess guys who follow the channel know that we're kind of advocates of you know, the lower volume, higher intensity stuff. So what would you say to someone who says they needs higher volume? So more sets, more days in the gym, whatever. Who wants to fight that one first? I would say if you're doing tons of volume, tons of reps, and tons of days in the gym, and you're making great progress, keep doing it. If you're doing 6 days a week in the gym and 20 sets of body part, and you're not getting anywhere, or you're not happy with your progress, then just try something else. Give the HIT stuff a go. You got nothing to lose if you're not making any progress anyway. Have you always trained kind of lower volume stuff, Leroy? Like, I'm guessing at the start you were a bit more.
When I first started using weight, I don't think I did. I used to do quite a few reps and quite a few sets, and that's because I didn't know much any better. But when I actually started training properly, I just found that low volume reps and sets work better for me, and my body responded a lot to that, a lot quicker to that than the high volume stuff.
Yeah, I very quickly, because when I started, everyone was like 3 sets. Everyone, that was it. Like, that was in the magazines. Everyone did 3 sets. There was 3 sets of everything. You did 3 sets. And I very quickly, without any knowledge, we didn't have Instagram or anything stuff. Obviously, I'd watched Blood and Guts and thought, well, I'm pretty much not at that level. But I very quickly moved to 2 sets, which was kind of the middle thing. And I found that adjustment actually quite early on. And doing intensifiers. I would either do 2 sets on one thing, or I would do 1 set with like a triple drop set, because I would kind of count that as like 3 sets anyway. So I very quickly did fall into that, and it started working better. And so I thought, well, I'll do that, and then actually it evolved from there. And then as I got bigger, I found that my recovery capabilities were poor, especially whilst being a teacher and having other like mad stuff. You can only do what you can recover from. And although everyone, like, I do get loads of messages like, you know, like, because you're like recovery and stuff like that, like, don't you think it would be better to do higher volume, like, learn? But the whole purpose of high intensity is actually about recovery, really. It's about getting in short, sharp bursts and getting out and recovering. But people think it's actually about smashing yourself to bits. But it's not. It's more about recovery than it is kind of training in my mind.
Yeah, like I said, if you're doing high volume and you're doing good, keep doing it. For the majority of people who come to me and say, listen, I'm not happy how I'm training, and they're doing high volume, and I give them like a low volume kind of high intensity split, they generally progress. So it's like proof is in the pudding, if you like. Give it a try. If you think you're doing high volume and you're not happy with it, give HIT a try. If it doesn't work for you, you've got nothing to lose, have you, really? If you're not.
Also, what's the question as well there's obviously ends of the spectrum, like what is low volume and what do you consider like high? Because if you go Mike Metzer low volume, he was training like twice a week, every body part, every 3. So like the spectrum is huge. You're doing 20 sets of 20 reps, which was kind of like, I think the US is still very much into like volume stuff. But in terms,
I guess you just got to gauge your progress, haven't you? So
yeah,
that's where you're kind of happy medium. You try something.
Yeah.
If you're not progressing, you adjust it a little bit. Like you say about Mike. Mike used to have some guys training like twice a week for like 12 minutes. You got to take into the account that people like to go to the gym as well, as you know, for their mental health and all that stuff. And so yeah, it is a tough one to kind of what is the right amount of volume. But generally, like you said, Dan, the bigger and stronger you get, I think you have to kind of reduce it a little bit.
And I do find different muscle groups as well. So like I find like actually arms need a little bit higher reps and a little bit more kind of volume and also legs I find need a couple more reps than say back. So like it might not even be that specific, but then it's like, well, what is volume? Is it the amount of sets? Is it the amount of reps in the thing? Like there's a whole world to explore, and then people start pulling studies out, and then it's like, well, you get a load of people that don't know how to train, and what's the lowest form of volume? Well, it's a single rep. Now, how many different ways can you perform one single rep? Well, like a billion. One person does it faster. So then these studies that don't take that into consideration, for me, are just bollocks anyway. So, like you said, if you're doing high volume, you're getting massive. Keep doing it until you don't, and then think about it.
I mean, my experience, like working in the gym since like I was a teenager, then I had max muscle for like 17 years. Now we're like on our nearly our fourth year at Ultraflex. I do find that the guys who train like every day with lots of volume for 2 years tend not to get any bigger. So again, you might be coming to the gym to stay fit, or just you like coming to the gym. But if you want to gain some muscle tissue, for the most part, I think most people do too much. I mean, back in the day, Leroy, like let's say you were training chest, how many work sets would you do for chest?
Working set. Well, we'd probably do 3 exercises. 3 exercises, and the first exercise would consist of probably 2 warm-up sets and then 2 actual working sets. Second exercise would be a warm-up, 1 warm-up and 2 sets, and then the third exercise would be probably 2 sets.
Yeah, so like six working sets.
Every now and then we might follow a 4th exercise. Only every now and then, maybe a crossover cable or something.
Yeah.
Like Dan says, short, sharp, and sweep. It's not everyone's cup of tea. And taking it to the max and taking that muscle group into the unknown, into the uncomfortable zone, as we call it, out of your comfort zone into something that hurt. It hurts. It hurts, and it hurts for a good few days. So not many people like, especially the people who want to train. They like to train every night. They like to be in the gym every night, bullshitting and socialising. They call it training. They'll never. It's not gonna suit them. It really won't, because they haven't got the mindset for it.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right. Like some people, if they can't harness it, need to train more volume to make up for being a bit of a pussy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I've always said is, if you can pick a weight up and you can do 6 good, strict, solid reps with the contraction at the end, and then lower it with the negative being lowered correctly, then that weight's too light. So you go heavier. You got to be heavier, and then you might get 4 good reps out with 2 on the spot, or 4 reps. And again, once you reach 6 reps with that weight, and you get 2 4 reps out, that's 8. Too light. We go heavier again. And when we say go heavy out, I don't mean put another plate on like you see some twats do. Heavy could be a dime, a quarter of a kilo, or something either side, half a kilo. It's making those gains, keeping the rep range the same, and getting stronger. You're getting stronger. You're building muscle. You break your muscle down, and you're using them 7 days in between the workout for that muscle then to recuperate and repair, ready for the next onslaught.
Yeah. What I've never understood, which was a thing, was I train legs twice a week. How do you train legs twice a week? You might fuck around with some legs twice a week. I don't understand. I mean, actually, to be fair, my wife does do that, but she basically only trains legs. So she's not got to recover anything else in between. But
when people come to me and say that, Dan, I train legs twice a week, I just say, no, you don't. You don't train legs twice a week. No, you don't. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Come and do 1 session with
me. Yeah, and then try and do it 3 days later.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was training all out, obviously I could possibly do it now because I'm not battering the shit out of myself as much as I used to. But if I was training legs properly when I was competing, my legs are still sore for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
I used to get that 1 day grace period.
Yeah, it's like that Instagram image where it's like legs are still sore and it's time to train legs again. I mean, some people might disagree and say you're doing too much, but that was literally from 4 work sets as well.
Yeah.
But then again, if you get on the leg extension with Leroy, that's like a week. You're on the leg extension for a week. You might be doing 3 or 4 force reps on the leg press with a punch in the chest. Then you got that drop set hack. I mean, there's, like you see, it's literally like 3, 4 work sets, but just past failure. My legs would be crippled for like 4 or 5, sometimes
But
6 days.
yeah, but I mean, like obviously, like yeah, if if you're hurting still on the day that you're supposed to be training them again, probably do need to reconsider that.
Yeah, you take another day off.
Yeah.
Take another day off. Live the fire another day. Listen to your body. If your body's not prepared, recuperated, then it's a waste of time hitting them again because you're not going to train 100%. You're going to cheat yourself. Like, take another day off.
I mean, I have tried. Like, I did try a setup that was more often hitting things more often. I've tried everything, and I tried it, and I pretty much off the bat got weaker every week.
Yeah.
And then after,
as the month goes on, you're going to get weaker and weaker because your muscles are just not ready.
Yeah, I did. I did. That's why people. Oh, have you ever tried this? Have you ever thought about this? And it's like, obviously, I'm insulted that that you have thought that I haven't thought about absolutely everything to try and get bigger legs. But yeah, I did try it. I got a plan off someone who was more into training things more frequently, and the volume was still low. But I literally each week got progressively shitter, and after a month, I was like, that's definitely not what I need to do.
Yeah, I guess this one's aimed at me because I kind of own a gym or partners in a gym. How do you find the balance between making a gym as hardcore as possible while still attracting general population to keep it profitable? That is a tough one. I mean, I've had comments before because, you know, we all bang on about like keeping it old school and hardcore and all that stuff. But, you know, I understand that I would say the majority of people don't want to train that way. Things aren't as, dare I say the word hardcore. We might get banned for that again. But I think Ultraflex Gym Durham does have a good blend of, you know, we've got the hardcore corner with all the old school stuff in there. So if you're not a fan of all the other stuff, you can go in there. You can literally do every body part in there if you wanted to. We've got dumbbells up to like 200 pounds. We've got a hack in there. We've got a power rack. Sorry, my chair keeps. We've got a power rack in there. We've got even calf raise, leg extension. So if you wanted to go in that side of the gym, where we are now, mysteriously, somehow, all at the same time. You could do a full session in there, but yeah, it is a tough one, and I get comments like, "Oh, you shouldn't be saying this and you shouldn't be saying that because your gym has like new school guys in." Honestly, guys, if you're going to the gym, I'm on your side. I say this all the time. If you're going to the gym, doesn't matter what you go to the gym for. If it's just to have some crack with the lads, just for your mental health, just to keep fit, to better you at your chosen sport, that's absolutely cool. You know, get in there, stay in there for 3 hours if you like. It's none of my business. And I've said this before, again, like how you train takes zero enjoyment out of my training or you know, it doesn't matter to me. The only reason I pipe up is because I see guys wanting to build some tissue and I get messages from guys wanting to build some muscle tissue. And that's my kind of, I'm not going to say expertise. I'm not an expert on that, but that's kind of my background, if you like, is you know, trying to build muscle tissue as a competitive bodybuilder. So that's the advice I give out. But I would like to think I've had enough experience in the game. If someone wanted to get, you know, I wanted the routine to get fitter, I could provide them with something like that. If they wanted to improve their chosen sport, I could give them a routine, you know, to help them with that. If Janice from accounts wanted to come and lose 20 pounds for her holidays, I would like to think my knowledge expands to that as well. I would like to think I have a wide range of knowledge. I'm not an expert at anything, but been in the game for like 30 years, you know, I've picked from everybody, but my kind of, again, not expertise, but experience is more for bodybuilding, if you like. But yeah, anybody who goes to the gym, I'm on your side, man. And that's not just cheesy saying because I've got a gym. Yeah, everybody's got to pay the bills and stuff, but everybody has a different reason to go in the gym. And we have tried to accommodate for everybody at Ultraflex. And, you know, for someone who doesn't know like what the gym is, and they'd just go in, they would see like just a ton of red machines or red and black machines. But if you know what you're looking for, you will know some key pieces in there that has been hand selected for just bodybuilding purposes, you know, not just in the hardcore corner. So yeah, I understand the game has changed now. You cannot just have just a hardcore gym because I don't think there's as many hardcore bodybuilders now because of the wide range of classes that you have now. I mean, when I started, there was just bodybuilding, that was it. There was no physique, classic. So we just changed with the times, and I like to think we have. I mean, what's your guys' opinion? Just give me the honest opinion. I mean, I still think we've got a really good atmosphere at Reflex Durham. We kind of cover everything, I would like to think. Come on, be brutal, Dan.
Mate, well, I mean, I think I've been to a few of the Ultraflexes, and Durham is my favourite. I think that Rotherham is also really good, but a lot more busy and maybe a little bit more tripody.
Yeah, all of the Ultraflex, I'm not just saying this because I'm partners in the Ultraflex gym. All of the gyms are really good. They all have a different angle. I mean, you know, some of them have got a bit of boxing in there. Some of them have got some MMA. Some's got more power.
That's why Charlie partners with people, because each one of them has a slightly different feel.
Yeah.
And
that's why we're not a chain, or I hate the name chain or franchise. We're not that at all. We're a brand, I guess, you know, an Ultraflex brand, but every gym has a little bit of a different feel to it, I think.
Yeah, and they do, and they're all good. Just that obviously I'm a bodybuilder, and even when my primary gym, which is Trojan in Ashton, when it was smaller, the setup was a little bit like yours. It was under some flats, which actually was your flat, and the ceilings were really low, and it was much smaller. Maybe that's just because of what I was used to. Or LA gym, that's also in Bristol, is quite like that, kind of smaller and boxed in. Maybe it's just the nostalgic element. I always preferred that, and hand on heart, I preferred Max Muscle was probably my favorite gym ever. But it's probably a nostalgia element, high ceilings and things like that. That's why I like that you've got the Mez, because it kind of boxes.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of thought going into all the flex. It wasn't just us banks and machines. That's why we've got the hardcore corner with the low ceiling. We've got the leg stuff. You know, leg day is probably the most serious day of the week for competitive bodybuilder. Yeah. We have that under the Mez where the ceiling is a little bit lower and stuff. So there's lots of thought going. We didn't just slam a load of machines in. And again, with the machines, they're all kind of hand selected by myself and Charlie, because people seem to forget, you know, Charlie's downsized a little bit now, and he does MMA, and he moved over to classic. But originally, he was a big class 1 mass monster bodybuilder at heart. So he understands. You know, if I say, like, Charlie, what do you think about this machine? Should we get this? He's genuinely in agreement because he's a bodybuilder at heart as well. So yeah, there is a little bit more thought into Ultraflex Durham than most people kind of think, if you like.
Yeah, I think Charlie didn't need to make gyms, did he? Really?
I'm sure he's doing all right.
He was doing all right elsewhere, but he saw the opportunity to partner with people and make excellent gyms, and each one of them has a different feel. But I find, like, in all of the Ultraflexes, I've been able to zone in, and that's the most important part. There has been some gyms I've been to where for some reason I can't box myself in, and those are the ones that I struggle with. EP Gym is another good one in Manchester. They've just moved. EP The Jungle. That's another really good gym. I don't know what their bigger version is like, but their small one was really good, and they'd managed to. It's hard to know what creates an atmosphere, but Trojan as well is in a big facility now, and there's an atmosphere there, and I think it's the people that go in and the something. You don't know how it happens, how you create it, but you create it out of time. And
I still think Leroy should open up the Davis Dungeon or something like that.
Oh mate, I would literally sell everything that I have in the whole world to be a part of that.
Would you get divorced down to move to Birmingham though?
100%. God. Hold on.
Yeah, I have this chat with Mr. Davis every now and again. I think, come on, Leroy, get a gym opened up.
I mean, I've said it before. Your gym caters for everybody and everything, and unfortunately, those people who are members of a lot of the people who are they don't know how lucky they are. They don't know what you've got, what you've done for them. Yeah, and it's on their doorstep. The doorstep. The basic things like parking and a lot of thought, like you said before, a lot of thought's gone into it, and they a lot of them wouldn't even appreciate that because they don't know. But they're so lucky, and they are awesome gyms. I would love one down in Birmingham. The only problem with Birmingham is we're fucking it up. You know, we fucked the town centre up. The council have, and now they're robbing everybody coming into town and robbing everybody for parking. And the charging stupid rent. You know, and I mean, it would be awesome to have an ultra down in Birmingham. Absolutely awesome.
I mean, I personally think that Temple Gym should have gone down as a listed, like a place of historical importance, and should have been forced to still exist. Or somehow, I think the council.
I don't think the council share our passion down enforcement.
I just, yeah, they should have got the wrong councilman.
Yeah, the whole of Birmingham. I've told this story before, but we had Dorian Yates, Mr. Olympia ×6, that was a resident in Birmingham. Yeah, you could go to 99.9% of the population in Birmingham and say, "Do you know who Dorian Yates is?" And they'll go, "No." And you say, "Do you know who Eddie the Eagle is?" "Yeah, Eddie the Eagle already." No, the fucking man who come last in the Olympics.
Sorry, Eddie. So I'm not sure he doesn't watch Forever Hardcore podcast.
And then you got Dorian Yates, Mr. Olympia, a resident in Birmingham, and hardly anybody knew.
Yeah.
No, and that probably was a godsend. Because he meant he could get on with his job undisturbed without twats hanging around.
Yeah, true.
People come from all around the world, flying to London, get a train to Birmingham, and they'd find Temple Gym. You could have someone stood on Temple Passage and ask them where Temple Gym was. I ain't got a clue, mate. It's sad. That was a sad thing. But it's nature, unfortunately.
Yeah. But then also it is funny because we do have to laugh at it because we forget that we live in this world and actually no one really gives a fuck. 99% of people don't give a fuck.
Everybody thinks of themselves, looking after themselves nowadays. Years ago, look after each other. That doesn't exist anymore.
Especially like 15, 20 years ago, if you were a bodybuilder, you were like a weirdo, weren't you? If you went to the gym, it was a bit of a kind of cult sport, if you like, if I dare say the word. But now it is more widespread with like regular people going to the gym. Like you say, you never used to be a very rare you would get a woman in Max Muscle Gym, like one or two a year. Obviously, I had Wendy McCready training there regular, but nowadays, I mean, I would say Ultraflex is like, I wouldn't say it's 50-50, but I would say like 70-30 males to females. So yeah, there's a lot more ladies getting to the gym, a lot more like, normal people going to the gym. I think scared to go to the gym like as they used to be.
I think Alice in the old gym, because she lived very close to the old one in Ashton, it was very kind of hard man's thing, but because she just lived so close, I think that she was the first female to be there ever. I think her dad used to come and take her and stand in the corner just in case anyone looked at her.
Right, let's see if we can get another question off the old IG.
I still love my shipping container. When I hired in COVID and hired a shipping container, those were some of my greatest memories of training. Just absolute basics of No, there was none of this like, are you using that? Because no one's using that because it's fucking mine.
I was exactly the same that outside. I set the gym up, and within a whole week, I lost 2 gazebos.
Yeah. We did that first in the garden, and our gazebo, literally, we lived next to the train track, and I was like, I better phone Great Western Rail and tell them that I'm not going to tell them it's mine, but there is a gazebo on the track. And the little orange men came. They were always from Wales for some reason and took it away.
Right,
Yeah,
Van VO8. Favorite split if you had 3 days a week to train, and what would that look like? I did 3 days a week for a while actually, so it would be um let me think. Well, if you want to call it push pull legs or whatever, but it was chest by try, legs in the middle, back by, which I guess you would call push pull legs. I mean, everybody thinks we get our knickers in a twist on the push pull legs thing. Not at all. It's just I don't know where that came from. I just prefer to call it chest, shoulder, tricep, legs, back bicep. There's just a difference in terminology how we call it. That's all. I mean, if you had 3 days to train down, what would you train? If you had to cover the full body in 3 days?
Yeah, if I had to cover it, then yeah, that's exactly what I would do, and I have done. And
Yeah.
in the past, I've trained 3 days a week, but on a 4 day split, and trained things every 8 to 10 days. So, is
Yeah.
there a reason that you're training just 3 days a week? Are you in a very stressful environment? Do you have a very physical job? You don't have you don't have to train everything once a week. If you've got a very physical job, maybe you can't recover from that. So it depends the reason. But everyone ties into these restraints but there are no restraints. Try it. And actually, some of the best gains that I did was doing that. And obviously, I did have a stressful existence at the time. But between the British and the universe was probably some of my best gains. And I trained. It was hard for me to even feel like I was a bodybuilder because I was never in the fucking gym.
It doesn't matter as long as you progress. And I had this conversation with Dorian when I went out and do the Dorian Yates HIT master trainer thing. The workouts were super short. And I was like, yeah, but some people want to be in the gym for a little bit longer. He's like, listen, do you want to make progress in the gym and gain muscle tissue, or do you want to spend an extra hour in the gym? Which I guess for the average gym goer, they probably want to be in the gym for an extra hour. But somebody who's competing and they want to add 10 pounds of tissue, then it's the other option, isn't it? I always just say to people, number one, make the training hard as long as you can recover from it, and just have a little think about your programming, as in, like, example, like I wouldn't train triceps on Monday and chest on Tuesday because you're going to need the triceps in the chest session. Or I wouldn't train biceps on Thursday then back on Friday because your biceps are going to be a little bit tired from. I would swap them around. Just think about your programming a little bit for everything to recover. But yeah, it isn't complicated, guys. You can hit 3 days.
I try and not hit back after legs or legs after back. I'd probably try and space out the bigger training things, or have a day's rest in between.
Yeah, I generally tell people if you've trained legs, try and have the next day off, or if you've trained back, like again, have the next day off after the two big body parts. But yeah, it ain't rocket science, guys. It's
What about Leroy? 3 days.
Yeah, well, when I first started training, I used to train on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday would be back, chest back and biceps. Wednesday would be shoulders and triceps, and then on the Friday would be legs. Now I've actually reverted back to 3 days not so long ago, and I'm doing Monday I'll do chest and biceps. Tuesday I'll do shoulders and triceps. Thursday I'll do legs, and then I won't train again to the Thursday. So whatever I've missed out, which will be back, I'd start with back, and then go through the rotor again. So one body part I train once every 2 weeks. That's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm finding because that's mainly because of my knees and I find they're getting a bit better and a bit stronger again.
I am.
Yeah, we've done that, Dan. I mean, that used to be that was my biggest, strongest, heaviest off season. I was doing chest biceps Monday, legs Wednesday, back Friday. Sorry, shoulders and triceps Friday. Then back wouldn't get hit until Monday. Kind of what you're doing, Leroy, and it's so everything was hit every 10 days.
That's it.
Yeah, I made some of the best gains of my life doing that. But obviously, you can't do that unless you've trained your mind to be basically fucking insane. The sessions have to. I mean, obviously, maybe when you're older, it's just a recovery like thing. But to warrant growing huge amounts of tissue, if you're going to train something like that infrequently, your sessions have got to be fucking on it. But yeah, I made some of the best progress of my life hardly training at all. And actually, I always said when I stop bodybuilding, competing, I'll probably train more. I'll probably train more often because I like training.
Yeah, you like being in the gym, don't you? But you know, if you are in the gym more, that's detrimental to your progress right now.
I'll get worse. I tried it. I tried doing it more. Like, I can train a little. I can train 1 day a week. I can train 1 day a week more, and I can train everything once a week now that I don't teach. But when I was doing teaching and coaching and bodybuilding, I couldn't recover from it, and it was getting me nowhere. But now I can do it. So it depends on your lifestyle. You know, you can only do what you can recover from. And when you start out, you can do much more and train things much more frequently because the amount of muscle that you have in each muscle group is smaller. So you should train as often as you can, as long as you recover.
Yeah.
As
you can build a very good physique on 3 days a week, put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you're doing it well.
Right, let's try and get another one. Let's have a look. Top 5 Olympia predictions. Ooh, this year.
I was trying to think about this the other day, like who's like qualified. Has Samson qualified already?
Yeah, Samson's qualified.
So he qualified ages ago. Obviously, Nathan recently qualified, and then Regan qualified. Arguably, like he beat Nathan just to make sure.
We won't be biased on that one.
That's Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
Yeah, Leroy just gives it straight. Leroy gives it straight. No bullshit. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure who's qualified. I do follow bodybuilding, but not mega closely these days. I'm going to go out on a whim here and see if Samson's going to win it. If he can get sharp enough, the guy's a fucking monster. So he's not really lacking anything. I know he leads a little bit more back in the back double bicep. So I'm going to go Samson. Derek Lunsford, he's looking nuts. Paddy Chupan. Nick Walker. And number 5 is just a toss-up for me. Like I say, there's a few guys I probably forgot who were qualified. I would love to see Nathan and James up there, obviously because they're Brits, but this year I think they do have their hands full. I don't think that they're kind of there yet, and I think those guys will probably agree as well. My Olympia would be, you know, obviously all the Brits in the top 5, but we have to be realistic. Do you follow things as closely these days, Leroy? Do you kind of keep an eye on you guys?
Nick Walker's qualified.
Yeah, you pull it up, Dan, see, because you'll
yeah, I've just pulled it up. Nathan, Regan, Charles Griffin recently competed, and it looked like he detached his chest.
Yeah, he has a pec tear.
It looked like
I love that guy because he's gnarly, nasty looking.
Yeah. Samson, I mean, apparently Big Rammy's coming back. We'll see about that.
No, he's not. He's officially announced that he's out of this year.
Nick Walker, Derek, and Hadi is in. So, yeah, I'm not. I mean, Samson's winning soon.
If he doesn't get it this year, then he stays injury free. So I'm going to go. Actually, I've just thought this. I'm going to go Samson. I'm going to go Derek Lunsford, Hadi, Nick Walker, and then Andrew Jack.
Do you reckon Andrew Jack?
Possibly, yes.
Do you reckon Nathan's in there in top 5?
I would love to see Nathan in the top 5, and it could happen, but
I think
because he's been away for a little while as well, that doesn't help. I mean, I know that shouldn't be taken into account, but I think it does sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean back in the day, Leroy, did you see much kind of politics going on? Do you think?
Yeah, there's always a talk. Back in the day, there was always a tiny bit of politics. They used to camouflage it and keep it well in you know, it wasn't so blatant as today. You know, but yeah, it happened, and it happened for a reason, and you know, it's not right. It should never be right. You know, as far as I'm concerned, if you're a judge, you should have absolutely no contact. You should have nothing to do with any of the competitors. Nothing.
Yeah.
Even knowing the aunt of the uncle of the cousin, you shouldn't be judging that person.
Yeah.
That's as far as I'm concerned, because they say, "Oh, I'm not," but of course there's a bit of bias going on there. In fact, it's there's more bias nowadays. There's that much. You know, cheating. Cheating, and it's not fair on the people who are putting all that effort, time, and money into the prep, and yet somebody's getting place higher than them just because they know, the judge, or they've been to one of their posing lessons, or they've, it shouldn't be like that. No way.
I think Nathan could pit Andrew Jack personally. Andrew Jack obviously is phenomenal, but for me, there's something structurally off. And I'm not slating him, like these are the best of the best, but I think it's lower arm length and lower leg length throws a couple of his shots off.
Yeah, he's got very long limbs, hasn't he? And I think Nathan and Andrew Jack could switch either way, and I don't think anybody would argue.
So I think like he's in there. Samson's like definitely in for the win. You can never write Haddy off just coming and winning, because he can just come nails as fuck. His conditioning is just, he's still a force to be reckoned with.
I hope Big Jimmy just comes in at fucking 285 shredded. And I hope Big Jimmy, Mr. Hollinshead, comes in like 285 shredded and just blasts in that top 6. Just for sheer work, I think, because we like James. Because
has he qualified?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. I could be wrong. Is he on the list?
How many's in the lineup, Dan?
Actually, no. Hollinshead full off season, man, isn't he? What the fuck am I talking about?
He's not. No, he's not.
Yeah, he's doing the Arnold next year. Sorry, James.
He's not qualified. No. He's
had his surgery, didn't he? So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
7. I'm just getting carried away. Sorry, James. I just want to see you up there.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's 24 on the list. I reckon 2 are no shows. So probably like 22. I reckon there's 22.
It'd be nice to have the Brits in the top 8, top 10, wouldn't it?
I mean, I'm hoping Nate. I mean, Samson's going to be in top 5. I can't see that happening unless something weird happens. Like, he's definitely in there, and I think he's in with a shot at winning. I think Derek looks completely mental, like completely fucking mental.
He's made some rapid progress, hasn't he?
Yeah, but then as well as like Samson, like it's like he's not even trying to. In between shows, there was the year when he did when he won the Arnold, and didn't really have an off season, and then somehow he just looked like he put 10 pounds of muscle on. I just don't get it.
4-week off season is just coming in.
Just growing. Like, I've heard of growing into prep, but he seems to have just been growing the whole time. So he's definitely going to get it at some point. I think with Samson, it's just like, because his genetics was so good, his training initially, I don't think was very good. And so I think he's only just perfected training, and now he's getting the real stimulus. And so even though he's like not that far off my age, he's still got loads of time in the tank because he hasn't had to beat himself up until this point.
Samson did say he was up for a team nasty session after the Olympia, so we'll have to hit Samson a message.
That's definitely on the cards. Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, he did post on his Instagram that he's up for it, Leroy. So we'll have to get the DW40 out for the joints and save a little bit up for that one.
I'm going to get some morphine. Get morphine patches and put them on my knees. I'm sure
we'll get some original atomic bomb sachets out. I've still got
the crunchy the biscuits.
Yeah, the barely legal ones. Right, shall I grab one more question?
One more.
Some of them are very long, so 2 questions from Portsmouth. What do you think about the bodybuilders nowadays and bodybuilding in general? What do you think is better, today's bodybuilding or back in the 90s? Oh, Leroy, this one's for
you.
It's
a trap.
Let's get nasty on the end.
We've answered this before. We've been asked this question, and again, I'm biased. We've had some great physiques over the last few years, but I mean, back in the 90s, the bodybuilding community was very small, very small, and the pool was small as well. Of the pros, the pro pool was very small, so everybody sort of knew each other. Everybody did know each other, and there's always that bit of camaraderie, but there's also that bit of a lot of competition between them. But the bodybuilders themselves, the way they carried themselves, the way they trained, eventually the way they trained and the way they behaved, and it's a total different atmosphere than it is nowadays. You still got the great bodybuilders, like you got Nathan, James that are kicking it. But I'd always say that the 90s, because of the way the competitions went, the way the Olympias were, and the way they were judged.
I think bodybuilding is, well, people that are into bodybuilding are quite nostalgic. I'm definitely a nostalgic person, and the people that I looked up to when I started are the people I'm trying to emulate and that I look up to now. So, and it'd be like the same as like music. The music of my youth is what I still listen to now. New music now I don't understand. So
yeah,
like I'm nostalgic with bodybuilding, but I know that there's some that does seem to have been a bit of a kickstart like recently. I think we had a bit of a lull when Brandon Curry won, when Sean Roden won. I think there was a bit of a lull, and I think things.
That's why I lost interest.
Yeah, I think things like have come up again. Now, one thing I do think Joe Weider dying did have an impact on the way some of these shows are.
1,000%. I always said the same. When Joe Weider passed away, bodybuilding changed a little bit. Obviously Joe Weider was in it to make money, etc., whatever, but he did actually care about the athletes and stuff, from what I understand and one of the stories I've told. So yeah, it did change a little bit when Mr. Weider passed away. So
I mean, the PCA first timer show was a bigger show with a greater audience than the Olympia, and that's a fact. Like, when you think about that, that's mad. And like, even though you watch the Olympia, even the lighting's not very good. Like, surely there's a guy for that. Like, there's a guy who would have done the lighting Olympia every year. The show setup, and it's moving. It's been moving around and stuff like that. I did look into going once. Once I priced it up with like good tickets, it was like mental money, and yeah. So I think there was a lull. I think we're on another high at the moment, but I think nostalgia, and obviously you were biased, but also Leroy, you were there.
Yeah,
you were at these Olympias in real life, watching them.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the atmosphere, the way the shows were put on, the way they judged the athletes themselves. I mean, to be honest, I can't sit in a show nowadays. I can't really sit and watch a bodybuilding contest. It sort of bores me now. So, which is that's not the way to be. I mean, hopefully, I will go see one in the future. When we got some good athletes to go into them and compete against each other and it's judged correctly, then yeah, I might get my interest back. I think the caliber of the bodybuilders of late sort of changed. The physique dropped and changed, and that was a lot down to the attitude of training and in fact not knowing how to train. And as Dan says, over the last few years, that's changed. That's started to change, and we're starting to get them grainy, nasty physiques coming back. Which is what we've been craving for. People like me, I've been craving to see things like that. I can't be watching these smooth water babies prancing around stage.
Can you remember, Leroy, when we made 100% Nasty the DVD back in 2016, and I remember you saying, you know, bodybuilders are just going to have to ride the storm for a little bit. It will come back. So maybe you're right. Maybe it is a little change in the tide with the next, like the past year.
Well, that was the board short pandemic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
the bikini boy. Bikini boy.
Yeah, Leroy said that, not me. The bikini boys.
And
Nerdy Taylor, we got the bikini boys.
Yeah, I remember you. It was in the film, and you were stood outside, and you were talking about the division. It just panned to Leroy, and he just refused to say anything. It was just there.
Yeah, his face is red.
Just the sternest look on the thing. Hey,
no
there's
comment.
There's a division for it. It is slightly less now, and it did one good thing for amateur bodybuilding, was it meant that eventually they put bodybuilding first, because what would happen is all of the physique guys would turn up with like their huge following, and they'd all have matching t-shirts. They'd buy all the tickets, and then by the time the overall, I remember winning an overall, and there was like literally one guy that I'm pretty sure was like disabled, waiting for his carer to collect him, and had accidentally stayed too long, and everyone else had left because Jimmy Shorts had left or whatever, and literally was just like a slow clap, like
Jimmy Shorts.
Jimmy Shorts. And so it did do one good thing, because it then pushed bodybuilding earlier in the day, and yeah, that's definitely a good. Well, it's easier for bodybuilding. It's like you wake up on show day and you're like, I need to be on stage now. How I look now. And then you just try and hold it for the day the best you can.
Just checking your abs every 30 seconds in the disabled toilet. All the disabled people are trying to get to the toilet. It's just full of bodies. Like. Anyways, Leroy, before we go, are you going to be the MC for the Ultraflex Open? We need a hardcore MC. We're definitely going to bring
I'll be there. I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, we're definitely going to bring a contest back. Maybe it's June, July time. I'm going to see the guy over the next couple of weeks. Same venue that we used to have. It's all been refurbed, etc. So,
is it going to be open, not affiliated?
No, it's not going to be affiliated. That's the whole idea. We want to have it non-affiliated, so there's no politics and. We'll have bodybuilders who are judging it. We'll have some like freaky body part trophies and stuff, like best legs, best arms. Yeah, we'll have the best posing routine as well. Just
and
try
some money.
Just a little bit of excitement. Yeah, we'll do 30 quid for the winner overall. I think Max Muscle, the last Max Muscle, you won $1,000, didn't you, Dan?
Yeah, that was the only money I've ever won.
Don't get me wrong, it's not mega bucks, but I'm honestly, there's guys who are doing the 212 Olympia getting like $300 for like.
Mate, yeah.
This place is crazy, so $1,000 isn't too bad, to be honest. And you got a big sword, Dan, as well.
The sword is at the gym, because we couldn't have it in the house because it is incredibly sharp and the dogs would definitely kill themselves.
Oh, okay.
But I still.
That sword, have you done? You'll be chopping no trees down, have you?
Oh, mate, I reckon he could. It is the real fucking just massive. We
went to town for the sword of the trophies for the last Max Muscle one.
Mate,
do the same for all the friends.
Hold on, I got two because I got best condition. So that cost me.
That was a fix.
That was a fix. See, those were the trophies. We could get those back. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a proper trophy. That.
There we go.
We'll have to get the Ultraflex man. I think we've got like a bench press guy, haven't we, for the Ultraflex?
That's a trophy.
Oh yeah, that's me. That's me. That's your twin brother, Leroy, who's in the hardcore corner. That actually looks quite real. That's in the background. Pretend to pick that up, Leroy. See, this is EI. Look at that.
It does look real. It does.
Well, I thought the grandkids said you look like Thanos, Leroy.
Yeah, Thanos. My little grandson.
It's mirrored.
We'll have to get you the fist, the arm, the Thanos arm, the glove.
I didn't even know who he was. He just, when he was calling me, you have to be explained to me.
Yeah, we'll have to have fancy dress at New Year. You dress up as Thanos.
Oh, mate, I'm definitely into that.
Who are you going to dress up then, Dan? Come on.
Me, Celine Dion.
I knew something stupid was going to come up. That's
That
all I
would be
have to say.
that would be scary.
Yeah.
Or Wonder Woman.
Oh God.
It's Wonder Woman.
Right, well, this coming week, I'm going to send out a few messages to a few people, see if we can get some guests on. I have some guys in mind, but if any of you guys want to make some suggestions, put them in the comments below. All that shiz. And yeah, do the subscribe, hit the bell, all that kind of stuff, because YouTube are being cocks. They're not giving us much engagement either at all. So
they're not liking our channel right now, so any support, share with your friends, and we'll keep the channel riding. We'll keep the podcast a regular thing. Now that Leroy looks like he can set it up just about.
Well, I can't. The sun came, but I'm organised now. I'm organised. Organised, educated, and organised. That's me.
Well, we'll try and do this one like every other week, and when we actually meet up with Durham, we'll do the proper hardcore corner one. I've actually got, so we got Mr. Grannon Richard. He wants to do, if we have time at New Year, he said he'll do something on, bodybuilding and psychology. He's got a big kind of outlook that
that would be good.
Competitive bodybuilders use the training as like a coping mechanism and stuff, which looking back, that could be right. But yeah, that's just something for a little different angle. He's a very interesting guy, Richard. So hopefully we can get him on. And obviously some of the British guys, we'll try and see if Samson, Nathan, James want to come on. I wouldn't mind getting the Boston Mass on as well. Jose, he's always a good laugh. He's always a bit of crack. Yeah, Jose's a big fan of Leroy's a big fan of Jose as well. So maybe even try and get him in the UK next year. We'll try and get him with the show. He guest posed one year, didn't he? So he guest posed and got pissed, basically.
I was wondering whether you would tell the story. Come on, tell the whole story and then we'll go.
There's not much to tell, really. He guest posed, he got totally hammered. We had to throw him in the back of Chris Bailey's van because he couldn't walk, and we had to just chuck him in the hotel in bed.
Didn't someone tell him that he couldn't guest pose like that, and he said something bad to them?
I can't remember. I just remember him being hammered and getting thrown in the back of Chris Bailey's van and getting taken away.
Every beer in the pub.
Yeah, he was like in the English ale, wasn't he? And the whiskies and stuff.
He was trying every Guinness lager. Oh.
I drink as much as I like. That's my best. Sorry, that's the best impression I've got.
I did get some feedback from an American client of mine, and he said that he watched the podcast and it looked like Amph was having a good time, but he had absolutely no idea what he was saying.
We'll have to get subtitles, guys. Honestly, come on. So we've got Birmingham, Brummy, we've got whatever you are, Dan. What is that?
Sexy.
What even is that? I'm like Geordie Mackham Durham.
You are Geordie Mac. I'm Bristolian, but I have quite a mild Bristolian, but basically a farmer accent.
Bristolian isn't even a real word.
Skirting along the border.
Yeah, it's a bit, round there.
Yeah.
Oh, Farmer Giles there.
He's a posh farmer.
I'm a posh farmer, so I haven't quite.
He's not posh. He wears gloves when he goes in up the car.
Yeah. I got driving gloves for my car that I don't have.
Yeah, that's what he calls them. Leroy. Driving gloves with blood all over them and like cow semen and stuff.
The one with sand in. You remember those ones?
No idea what you're talking about, Dan.
The one with that. On that note, hit the like and subscribe. That might be somewhere down here. Let us know who you want to see on the podcast. And thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next time for probably number 4 by the time it's come out.